Hey, Mr. Harris, how would you improve public education here in Chicago?
Besides having more qualified teachers, basically parent involvement, getting parents involved the way they should be. And by doing that is to make parents as well as their children accountable for what they need and they should be doing. Parents, being a parent myself and an educator, I found out coming up to these schools, to these parent-teachers conferences, by the end of the, well, let's start at the beginning of the year. We started off with 15 parents out of 700 parents at this school. As time progressed, the 15 parents turned into 5 parents. And as time went on, I happened to be the only parent that was showing up to these parent-teachers conferences. And it's no reason out of 700 parents, I'm the only parent there.
Yeah, we're not going to mention the school. The school looks like a lot of different schools here in the city. We're not going to mention the school, but that's just par for the course. In urban education, you would agree most of the parents, we're working class. We're just overcome with the travails of life. Really trying to go down into a public, to the teachers meeting, that's just like overwhelming.
Yeah,
for some of us.
I still feel that that's an excuse a lot of people use. See, because when you look at you and your child, nothing should come before the education of your child. I mean, when you gave birth or when the birth of your child came to pass, everything as far as you being a parent should be put on the back burner to that child's education. And most parents, the majority of us, don't think like that. You know, it's us first and then our child. And when it comes to our children's education, it should be the other way around.
But Mr. Harris, how can Ron Huberman and Barbara Watkins can really improve the schools when so many parents are not involved?
Well, they can improve it. They won't improve it because of the lack of involvement from the parents. See, it's just like anything. A school is only an institution. And just like the government being an institution, it's the people who demand from the government what they want the government to do. We as parents have to do the same thing to the schools. We have to demand these things upon the schools. And if we don't demand it, it's not going to get done.
So the school's going, this is going to air in August. The school's about to start before you know it. What do we tell parents who have little children starting kindergarten, or the big ones who are starting their freshman year? How do we encourage our parents to do better by their own children?
Basically, we have to re-educate the parent. The parent, most people feel that I'm grown, you can't tell me nothing, But if you couldn't tell them nothing, they wouldn't be in a predicament trying to figure out how to have a better education for their child. So evidently they do need some type of education or involvement to be involved to make sure that this happens with their child.
So you're proposing parenting classes?
Exactly. Being a parent and having a parenting class, you want to get the parents involved. And the majority of the time, the only way a parent gets involved is when their child is in trouble. If their child is not in trouble, they don't even take the time out to come up to the school to see about the child, unless it's some type of letter or some type of informal discussion about their child being in trouble. Why do they have to wait for their child to be in trouble to check on their child's progress? So my thing is they need to be more proactive in every aspect of their child's education. This is why we're in the condition we are, and we always hollering school this and school that, instead of, let me take a term from Michael Jackson, The Man in the Mirror. All they have to do is look in the mirror, look at themselves, and start with the self and make sure that this gets done.
Well, I know, Mr. Harris, I can be a better parent, but a lot of parents, we haven't seen the best practices of better parents. Most of us don't know any parents who their children go to one of the Nutrier School, or Walter Payton or Whitney Young. We just know regular hood parents, regular working class parents, regular parents. We haven't seen the best practices of the best parents who have great, excellent students.
Mm-hmm. We just don't take notice.
I ain't
Take
seen them.
note.
most
Hold
of
on.
most
I
of the
mean-
parents I know just like me.
But look at you. Look at your children and look at the other children.
Yeah.
Aren't your children more excelled or more father than the rest of the
Well,
children?
my parents had master's degrees, and my mother was an educator, so I have a little bit a leg up on that. But a lot of our parents don't have that.
But-
A lot of our students, you wouldn't know. This will if they go to college and if they finish, they'll be the first people in their household who go with a college degree.
And this is true. But the thing is that, like you said, yourself, myself, we are the example for the other parents. It's not saying that we're perfect. We're not.
No.
We all try to be perfect at doing what we want to do, but we are imperfect. And being imperfect, we need forgiveness along the way to make these things happen. When you see perfection in me, you actually see God. When you see imperfection in me, you see man. So it's man's imperfection that he will not adhere to be better than he should be.
Well, don't you think? Well, all of us parents, we need to raise our expectation level, our academic expectations for our young people. Don't you agree?
Of course, but at the same time, the parents need to raise their expectations of themselves. See, because again, their child is the first individual they see in the morning and the last individual they see at night. If the parent isn't an example for their child, how can the child inspire to be better than what they are? As it said, you can't be what you don't see, and if they don't see this in their parent, they won't be it in themselves. Our closing comment is that we have to stop talking the talk and walk the walk. We have to do what we need to do. Bottom line.